Welcome back to the cave for a series I'm going to do where we look at these baits underwater and I give you my open and honest opinions about them, pretty much like what we've done in the past where we look at some baits, we give you guys some underwater footage, and in some cases we'll talk to the bait builders like our Building Confidence series. And today's baits are from Rusty's Customs, and I'm going to have Rusty on at some point. Summer's super busy. Today's a bit of a rainy day, so I had a little bit of a chance to kind of get caught up on a little bit of this footage. I just want to apologize. I'm feeling a little under the weather, so my voice is a little bit scratchy today. So if you hear me kind of break there, that's exactly why. But earlier this year, Rusty sent us some of his 6-sucker baits that the guys like Scaife and Vavrock and Ben Stone have had so much success with. This is the 6-inch. This is the 8-inch. These are exactly what you would expect in a glide bait. They glide effortlessly. They run at slightly different levels in the water column. We'll get into that when we kind of look at each of them. Great baits. I've been throwing them a little bit, not as much as I would like, but those of you that watch regularly know that we are not glide connoisseurs. And when we get into the good, the bad, and the ugly, I'll kind of give you my take on why that is. One of the new ones he had this year is the Crackhead. So very similar to, I believe his other one was called the Sucker Punch with the rotating blades on it. This one's got this little, almost like a paddle tail attachment. This one just makes a ton of sound in the water. We'll look at that in a minute. And the other one that was, I believe, new this year is his Fortune Teller. So just looking at the profile, vastly different profile. And there's something I really, really like about the Fortune Teller that we'll get into as we kind of look at them and break them down. So first off, we'll look at the 6-sucker. That does seem to be the most popular bait that he has right now. Really cool profile. Got the little blade out the back on both of them. It's a pretty fat bait when you look at it from, that profile like that. The 8-inch is dramatically bigger than the 6. So it's not like he just took the width of the 6 and the overall profile and just made it longer. He actually made it bigger in all dimensions. When I first got him in the water, we'll look at the 6-inch first. It has that classic side-to-side glide that you can just control with just the reel, just half a crank on the reel, half a crank on the reel, half a crank, and that thing just goes perfect. If you add a little bit of rod tip hop to it, you can get it to go a little bit wider. You can give it that hop kind of glide, hop glide that a lot of guys like to do. So I thought the 6-inch you could really do a lot with it. When I got the 8-inch in the water, which was actually, it was a few days later that I was able to film it, and right away it has a bigger glide, which you'd expect from a bigger bait displacing more water. And to my eyes, when I was running it, it felt like it had a little bit of a roll or a wobble, which in the video it doesn't necessarily show, but in real time it feels like it's just got more life to it compared to the 6-inch. Again, I think that's just a case of on the water feeling it. But when I did watch the video back, the thing that really stood out to me, excuse me, with the 8-inch is that when it's coming in towards the camera, you get to hear this where it's actively dispersing the water, which you do not hear near as much or almost not at all with the 6-inch. So there's definitely something happening with the 8-inch where it is moving more water, pushing more water, and it's actively making more of a noise in the water. So the crackhead is probably the most unique bait. I do think I have somewhere in here, I'm not going to take the time to dig it out, the original sucker punch he sent me with that rotating aluminum prop. And when he first sent me pictures of this in a quick underwater video, I was like, man, it's cool, but I'm just not sure where I would use it. When I got it in the water and you hear it and you feel it in your rod tip, that prop moving, that tail, that's just, think of a paddle tail swim bait that really has that roll to it. Like a swimming dog, like a shadzilla, that really loose tail. In the examples here, you're going to see straight retrieve, and then you're going to see where I do a slight pull, pick up the slack, pull, pick up the slack, and it just makes this super unique grinding noise to it that I think is unique to this bait. I don't know that many other baits do that. It almost sounds chatterbait-ish, if that makes sense. So let's have a look at that one, and then we'll finish up with the fortune teller. So watching social media, and when I posted a few pictures, guys were telling me that the one that they like the best, just on a kind of a level of looking through social media, everybody that's ever used the fortune teller tells me this is the one that they really like. And at first I was like, it's just a, a bigger shad style base glide. What's it going to do different? This one is dramatically different than the six sucker, just in the way it moves. It has that effortless glide, but what this does is it has this roll to it. The body rolls out like that in the water, and it's not just like that classic hellhound kind of back and forth, or like think of a manta or any of the glides that have like those stabilizer fins on the back. This one actually has like body English to it. It rolls and it twists as it comes in, and that body roll just lends itself to looking bigger in the water, especially from underneath. And I almost wish I would have did some footage from straight underneath on that bait, because I think that way that bait rolls out to the side, I just think that for fish that are underneath looking at it or chasing it from behind, I just think that's going to be such a unique profile where they're not just looking at the back of the bait doing this, they're actually looking at that bait come through the water and it's rolling like that. So you get that sense of, it has that real fish profile, that real sense of an actual wounded fish rolling. So I thought that one, the fortune teller, was really unique. That's the one I've actually thrown the most, moved a couple fish on it. Like I said at the top, we are not huge glide users. We will try to incorporate them when we can. But that being said, right now the two that I've kind of leaned on the most are the fortune teller and the 8-inch six sucker. When we fish some of the smaller bodies of water, we'll try and lean on the other ones a little bit more as the season progresses. The good, these baits work exactly as advertised. A bit of a pet peeve of mine are glide baits that you have to really think and really work a specific way to get them to work. And we've had people send us glides from all over the Musky range. Some are absolutely easy to use, turnkey, throw them in the water, just reel your handle, they glide. Other ones have been frustrating, to say the least. These things are the most effortless glides I think I've ever used. There's a few other manufacturers, boutique builders that come to mind that build glide baits that just absolutely flat out do exactly what they're supposed to do. That's what you want in a glide bait, is something that has that big wide wobble that you can control what it's doing, not the other way around. So the glide baits do that. That's the good. They just flat out work. The bad with them, not really anything bad with these baits that I can think of off the top of my head. The only, maybe negative is that they are very predictable, especially the six suckers. I do find that they do, almost like Rich Reinert says, they do that hypnotizing glide motion. You have to consciously put a little bit more into it to get them to maybe hang to one side or hang to the other. So that would be my only knock on them, is that they are very predictable. They do the same thing side to side. If you're looking for one of his baits that do something slightly different, definitely lean towards the fortune teller. It is slightly more erratic, or it has that body roll, so it looks unsymmetrical as it's coming in. It does something a little bit different on both sides. And for the ugly, there's really nothing here that most people wouldn't like. Personally, again, we're not huge on the glide baits. I do really like the action on these ones. And I do really like that he's taking a chance on a different style of bait, almost like a spy bait style. But with this little paddle tail with a little rattle chamber, it's unique. I think if people give it a chance, it's probably one of those baits that once you get a little bit of confidence with it, you'll find some really cool applications and really cool spots to use it. For us, I guess maybe the only negative there on a bait like this is I just don't know where to use it, where to fit it into our style of fishing. That's not really a knock on the bait. That's just a knock on what it is we do in our style. But nothing ugly about these baits. The fit and finish is amazing. So hopefully this little look at some of the Rusty's customs will help you guys decide which one you guys want to use. I know they're super popular. Can't thank Rusty enough for the support he's shown us and the trust he's shown us in getting us some of these baits. I know they're having success all across the Musky range, and I know it's only a matter of time before we start catching on it. We just got to be patient, keep throwing it, and glide baits are something that we are slowly getting better with. Well, guys, thanks for sticking with me with my broken voice here today. Just want to say we'll be doing some more of this style of video where we look at the stuff underwater, and I'll give you my honest take on some of these baits. And I have some really cool ones coming up that I think are unique, are cool, are innovative. Hopefully our honest opinions will help you guys decide which baits will serve you the best for your style of fishing. So for now, 54 Bust is out of here. I'm gonna go have another hot coffee to kind of settle my voice down. But for now, 54 Bust is out of here. We'll catch you guys out on the water later.